meeting tonight. We are having this city council forum, and we're so glad that you came out. You bucked the heat and all the stuff going on television. So thank you for coming and being here with us. My name is Pam Clopel, and I'm president of People for Portsmouth. Some of you have never been to a meeting here before, so I want to tell you our mission. Our mission is to achieve good governance in Portsmouth through voter registration, education, and participation. That's what we're doing tonight. We will endorse a diverse slate of candidates who believe in governing with transparency, achieving financial stability in the city, encouraging business growth, assuring equal justice and protection for all citizens, preparing all children for educational success, and capitalizing on the diversity of Portsmouth's people, its history, and its natural resources. We encourage voters to fill all elected positions in Portsmouth's government with people who are capable, honest, respectful, regardless of race, religion, or political affiliation. We will oppose leaders, black and white, who undermine this mission and will endorse those who support it. Several interesting things have happened in the newspaper, editorials that are right to the point since we've last met that I thought I would go over briefly. On July 3rd, there was an editorial in the Virginian Pilot that said Portsmouth city government has for years been the brunt of jokes thanks to City Hall's penchant for dysfunction, secrecy, and general ineptitude. It is not a reputation the city deserves, nor one that the residents should accept. Voters will in November elect a mayor, 3 members of city council, and 5 members of the school board. That's a lot of people that can change the government. There is no way to sufficiently emphasize the importance to the city of voters making thoughtful decisions in each of these races. Portsmouth stands at a crossroads, and this election will determine the path it will take. Last April, when we first met, that's exactly what we said, that this year is crucial. Will elected officials continue to treat citizens with barely concealed contempt? To embrace policies and use language that divides the community? And to flout the state's open government laws? Or will the residents demand better from those charged with acting in the best interest of all, who seek a government where all are welcome and can be heard? These are not decisions that should be made by a handful of people in Portsmouth. Portsmouth should head to the polls in droves this November, given the opportunity to do so, reflecting the enormity of the stakes in the outcome. How many of you are going to go to the polls in November? Right, and make sure you take somebody else with you. We have got to fill the polls. There was also an editorial July 8th saying, when it comes to thwarting the public's right to know, the list of offenses committed by Portsmouth officials, both lengthy and egregious, in at least one instance, its invocation violated the state's Freedom of Information Act. Do y'all know which one that was? When Bill Moody was fined, it was just, a judge just determined that that was indeed a violation of the Freedom of Information Act. A majority of City Council has expended a great deal of political will erecting obstacles to citizens' access. Those officials will not abandon their approach to governance based on one slap on the wrist, the judge's decision in Bill Moody's case. It's been clear for months that no amount of public outrage, nor ink in the newspaper, nor time on the evening news will deter some members of the Portsmouth City Council from their belief that they should not have to answer for their decisions. No, the only punishment that will matter, that will be the best chance of restoring transparency in Portsmouth City Hall, will be delivered at the ballot box this November. That responsibility should be shouldered, not by judges who make determinations in cases of Freedom of Information Acts, but by the citizens in Portsmouth who should be eager to exercise it in due course. So those are two editorials that speak right on the point of why we're here tonight, to change the government. That's why we have so many candidates running for city council. They must all agree with this and must agree with people for Portsmouth. Tonight's an opportunity that is really, or this November, unbelievable. We have a mayor to elect. We have 3 members on council to elect. You put the mayor and 3 council members together, that's 4 of the 7 on council. That's a majority. We have 5 members of school board to elect out of 9. That's a majority. We won't have such an opportunity again until 2020. We can change the government around by electing a slate of people that you want to represent you. The whole slate will make a huge difference. And that's what People for Portsmouth is going to do. We're going to have a slate of officers, and we are going to tell everyone why we select them. It's a critical year, a remarkable year for Portsmouth. Please be part of the change. We have 3 more PAC meetings left before November 8th, and 102 days. That's all that's left until the election. You received a copy of our minutes in your email. Is there a motion that we accept them as distributed? Second, all in favor? All right, Connie, you did well again with the minutes. We also have a couple of things for sale tonight. We have our People for Portsmouth signs. They're $20. 10 of that goes to us. So if you would please buy a sign, put it in your yard, and let people know you stand behind People for Portsmouth. We want signs on.
2 candidates from City Council, or who are running for City Council, were unable to join us this evening, but provided statements expressing their regrets. In alphabetical order, the first statement is from Mr. James C. Bailey. People of Portsmouth, it is with deep regret that I must inform you that I will be unable to attend this forum. I am a proud resident of Portsmouth by choice, and I'm inspired by the diversity of our communities. However, it's important to remember that we all deserve a city where everyone is included in the decision-making process. Reestablishing the leadership role and respect of City Council of Portsmouth will not come by simply wishing it was better. Your job is to elect individuals to lead on your behalf. Those candidates should have a proven track record of serving the needs of citizens over their own concerns. People of Portsmouth cannot lose. You are all very fortunate to have some of the most humble individuals I have ever met to select for City Council. I will continue my campaign efforts in 2 weeks. Thank you and Godspeed. James C. Bailey, candidate, Portsmouth City Council. The second statement is from Mr. Mark Gaduldig-Yatrovsky. Dear neighbors and fellow citizens, I regret that I am unable to participate in the candidate forum tonight. As the founders of our country stated in the Declaration of Independence, and I'm paraphrasing here, a decent respect for the opinions of humankind requires that I should declare the causes for my absence. Otherwise, people might speculate that there is an indication of disrespect, forgetfulness, lack of accountability, or some other negative reflection on People from Portsmouth or myself. In reality, it is merely a demonstration that even in a 366-day year, and despite everyone's best efforts, irreconcilable scheduling conflicts do occur. To be more specific, months before PFP issued invitations to candidates for any local office, my wife and I had booked a family event involving non-refundable tickets for this particular date. Although I regret the missed opportunity to persuade you to vote for me, I expect that others will present themselves between now and Election Day. Sincerely, Mark Gaduldig-Yatrovsky. Those are from the candidates who are unable to join us. up to 2 minutes to tell who you are, why you're running, and what you hope to accomplish. And as a reminder, your mic will be silenced if you go past your 2-minute mark. You will receive a 30-second mark and then the end note. So 30 seconds is yellow and you're done at red, okay? Are we clear? All right, so we will start in alphabetical order. Our first candidate, Mr. Paul J. Battle.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Battle, like a battleship. Number 2 on the ballot in November. And I'm your candidate for City Council in Portsmouth. I'd like to first of all introduce my wife, Ms. Kenyette Battle. She's my better half. We have 3 little girls that we have so much fun with. I'm a graduate of I.C. Norcom High School, Norfolk State University. My experience with the city is I've been employed with the Sheriff's Department, the Police Department, the Recreation Department, Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing. Never been terminated from any of my employment. I've always helped make policy and make things better for all the citizens in the city of Portsmouth. While at Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority, I had the opportunity to work on the Hope 6 grant. The Hope 6 grant was $26 million to the city, which dealt with the demolition and the revitalization of Jeffrey Wilson and Alabama. Of course, there was 0 tax base before the transition. After the tax base, we have $790,000 approximately going to the city yearly. Also, I had the opportunity to work on the drug elimination grant. With that grant, we were able to put 15 extra policemen in the city, to work with the city of Portsmouth. I had the dubious honor of working on the 2010 Empowerment Zone grant. I personally put together the matching funding. Either we put up cash or we showed in kind services how we would provide that money. I put that together. With that funding, we did the demolition for what is now Victory Crossing. I'd like to thank you for having me, and please consider giving me your vote. Thank you.
My name is Leon J. Book. I'm not running for city council to bring fear or hatred to our city. I know that the cornerstone of our community are found in our city government. Therefore, it is very important that I be honest with you. I don't have any hidden agendas. I want you to vote for me. I was educated at I.C. Norcom High School, Norfolk State College in Norfolk, Virginia, Union Christian Bible Institute out of Durham, North Carolina for 4 years, Antioch Bible College in Norfolk, Virginia, where I received a bachelor's degree of theology, and Virginia Union School of Theology in Richmond, Virginia. I am the author of 2 books. I pastored for 35 years at Celestial Baptist Church and retired. Life experiences have also educated me. I'm running for city council because I do not want our city to become a social evil, which in one way or another will affect members of our society. Social evilness deals with racism, organized crime, and often cause controversial problems. The question that I'll be asked will not determine if I am trustworthy or not. My educational background does not stop me from becoming a monster. I support education. I want the same improvement in our city as anyone else. I want you to vote for me, Leon J. Boone.
J. Clark.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Clark, and I'm running for City Council with one intention, and that is to serve my city. You may have heard the expression, others may have said that they have worn many hats during their life. Well, I have worn many hats too, and helmets, and badges, and uniforms. I'm the candidate who has been there and done that. I have been around the block, so to say, starting with the 200 block Chautauqua Avenue where I grew up. Once I turned 18, I dedicated my life to helping others to the best of my ability. I have taken oaths to protect my city, to protect my state, and to protect my country. Currently, our city is threatened. Our city is threatened with crime, ignorance, and incompetence. As I always have, I will work to do away with these threats so we can move forward. The citizens, along with myself, would like to see a safer, better, and brighter Portsmouth. When I'm elected as your city councilman, I will take another oath to do everything within my power to move Portsmouth forward and bring a prosperous Portsmouth to everyone that we would dream about and be a nicer place for all citizens here. Now I'd like to just say thank you in advance for your support.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lisa Lucasberg, and I want your vote on November 8th. A lot of people may think that I have the name recognition and that's why I'm running, but I'm not. I've been involved in my Portsmouth community for 20 years, and I invite you to get to know me. I became actively involved in the Portsmouth community when I joined my sorority, Portsmouth Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, where we're a public service organization providing services to our community and our citizens in the forms of political awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and also educational development, among other things. I am no stranger to city government. I began my professional employment with the City of Portsmouth Computer Services Department in 1988, where I remained employed there for 13 years, ending my career as a programmer analyst. I joined my family business in 2000, and I'm currently the executive director of Lucas Lodge Programs, which provides services to adults with intellectual disabilities. I was born and raised in Portsmouth, been here all my life, minus the 12 years that I got married and lived a life in Virginia Beach, which gave me a passion to come back to Portsmouth and work hard for my community because I saw so many things happening in Virginia Beach, and I believed that we could do that in Portsmouth. I am passionate with the community, some of the things that I've done, currently serving with the Economic Development Authority. I've been there for 6 years. My current position is of chair for the past 2 years. I've also served as president of Girls Inc., which is a youth program that provides services for youth, providing strong them with science, technology, engineering, and math. So I have experiences across the business community, across the public community, and across the civic community. I encourage you, I thank you for being here, and I like your votes.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out on this hot night to listen to all of us. I think most of you are aware that I have served as your councilwoman for the last decade. I've served my community for more than 30 years as a business person and as a volunteer. I've worked hard to make you proud. I've tried not to embarrass my city, or myself, or my own family. I've worked toward compromise among the different councils I've worked with. My most recent compromise and consensus building was to fire the auditor who had been receiving a ridiculous salary for no work for more than 2 years. I've worked hard to support the arts. I've supported public safety, not only pushing for a new pay plan, but for new, better, more efficient equipment, a new radio system out here in Churchland so the officers can actually hear what they're being dispatched to. And for that support in public safety, I am pleased to tell you that the first endorsement that's come out this season is from the Fraternal Order of Police, who have endorsed John Rowe for mayor, Nate Clark for city council, and myself for city council, so I'm very proud of that. I ask for your vote to continue to provide some stability to this city council. I've worked with lots of folks, nothing like the ones I'm working with now, but I look forward to staying and working with two new people who can behave properly and sit down and have a civil conversation and get some things done to move this city forward. I ask for your vote on November 8th.
My name is Kathy Revel, and I'm running for City Council because I love my city. For those of you who don't know me, I was born here in Portsmouth and graduated from Woodrow Wilson High School. I have spent my life as a career in nursing and in nonprofit leadership, serving the medically underserved in our community and helping them to obtain basic medical and dental care. I'm married to my biggest supporter, David Ratcliffe, and we have 2 grown children, Mandy and Justin. This campaign is about the future of Portsmouth. It's about us working together to make our city better. It's about trust, principled leadership, and vision. It's about what we all want: safe neighborhoods, good schools for our kids, strong economic development, and good judgment in decision-making. My platform is centered on public safety, better educational and employment opportunities, economic development, and regional cooperation. And most importantly, on transparency and on good judgment. We must capitalize on the assets that we have at hand. That's our history, our people, our port, and our diversity. We must attract businesses to Portsmouth, businesses large and small, and also residents to our neighborhood in order to extend and expand our tax base. I would like to put my passion for service to work for the city of Portsmouth, and I ask for your support. I think that my life thus far and my experience has served me well to prepare me for this important task.
Donna Biggs Sy.
Good evening. My name is Donna Sy, and the reason I'm running for a seat on City Council is to secure the city against the effects of bad management that has occurred with the present elected ones. We see every department of the city is shorthanded. Initially, I thought it was just the public safety personnel for fire, police, medics, and sheriffs. Tuesday night, I learned all departments in the city are shorthanded. No wonder we are questioning the elected. We have lost many of our department directors and employees and have all this debt. The city has experienced trauma from these events. This is the reason why I'm running. I want to give my gifts of administration, organization, and communication to the people of Portsmouth to instill hope, share information, and encourage teamwork in developing strategies for the future. The number one strategy is to get our city's finances in order. Secondly, we need to have all city departments organized. Each department needs to have an organizational chart with each person's job listed, along with the chain of command. Next, each department needs an updated manual of policies and procedures. It needs an orientation manual for new employees, along with the pay scale, the step process for promotions and retirement benefits. Employees need to know the limits of professional conduct. The most important part of any organization its ability to relate to each other by effective communication. As your elected, I will engage all interested parties to take part in creating and implementing strategies by various communication methods. This is the reason why I'm running. I want to give my gift of administration, organization, and communication to the people of Portsmouth to instill hope, impart information, and encourage teamwork to develop strategies for the future well-being of Portsmouth. This is why I'm asking you to vote for me in November. Thanks for listening.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Ray Smith, and I'm running because it's time for experience on the City Council. Having served 10 years on the school board and 1 term on the City Council, I bring just as much experience as one other candidate here, more than just as much. I've been an employee in management of Dominion Power for 37 years. I've also been actively involved in city and local politics since being a senior in high school. I'm also married. I've also spent an enormous amount of time in the community, working mentorship programs, also in my church and through Dominion Power. Experience is needed because communications is important, because team effort is critical. We have to turn around the tide that has us down right now. And I believe it's going to take experience. We don't have time for folks to learn on the job. We need to hit the ground running. And I bring that to the table. And I ask for your support in electing me to your city council again this time. I feel that I can do the job. I feel that I can represent the entire city and not just Cavalier Manor from where I live. I'm the president of Cavalier Manor Civic League, but as council members, you all know, we are elected by the city at large, and we serve the city at large. And I feel that I've done that in the past as a councilman. I've established myself with credible service, not only in the city of Portsmouth, but through the other Hampton Roads areas, through my political and my work experience. I asked you to consider me.
To Lisa Lucasberg, and the question is this. Portsmouth operates 2 golf courses. Mayor Wright has proposed operating the 3rd city-owned golf course in Suffolk as soon as the current contract with the private operator expires. Do you think the city should continue to operate any or all of the 3 courses? Why or why not?
Thank you for that question. And to me, it's a no-brainer. We here in Portsmouth, and we want resources. So I think that we need to take the resources and take a look at the current 2 that we have in the city of Portsmouth and pour our resources, our energy, our talents into the 2 that are currently operating. I believe that the one in Suffolk, although it may offer us an opportunity, we're throwing our monies and our resources, our talents to another city. So I say no, keep the 2 that are in Portsmouth and build them up, make them better, attract people to Portsmouth, and keep our money here.
Thank you. Also, goes to Paul Battle. Portsmouth expects to add 800 new apartments and 174 new homes within the coming months. What steps should Portsmouth take to attract people to these properties?
Well, if we're going to bring people here, we're going to have to do a PR program to give them the amenities and advantages of coming to our city. Such as we'll have to let them know the effectiveness of our school system. We'll have to brag about our new chief of police and how the intent is to help to deter crime, something which all of us will help in doing. We're gonna have to give them the advantages of being close to shopping places and the hospitals and things like that. And of course, we're gonna let them know that they have adequate parking. And when they get here, we'll greet them and do introductory period for them. But we will leave any stone unturned in reference to making them welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Question is, it is said that, quote, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Do you favor reestablishing and staffing a convention and visitors bureau in Portsmouth? If so, why? If not, why not?
Thank you. Yes, I'm very much in favor of reestablishing the visitor center. The previous question talked about attracting people. That is just one of the venues and one of the revenues, one of the ways that we can bring Portsmouth up to the level of not only the surrounding cities, but the state and the country. It is very critical that when tourists do come to Portsmouth, and we do have a lot to offer tourists to come here, that they are met with, well, they are shown in the right directions. And I think the only way you can establish and advertise Portsmouth and to get people here is to promote it. And there needs to be a formal organization that's our drum major and the supporter, besides the mayor and the city council members.
Widespread community support for Wheelabrator, the City Council voted to sign on to the SPSA contract with Repower without any substantive public discussion or explanation. Do you subscribe to this trust me style of leadership? If so, why? If not, why not?
No, I don't subscribe to that type of leadership. We the people are the government, and we weren't asked our opinion about whether to stay with Wheelabrator or stay with Citizen. So.
That's it? Okay. When you speak, the question is, in 2014, the City Council passed a 5-year capital improvement plan expected to cost $51 million. This year, Council reduced that budget to $37 million. Cut from the plan were upgrades to existing recreational facilities, sewer and water system improvements, and educational infrastructures. What are your priorities for capital improvements for the city?
The phrasing of the question is not accurate. The infrastructure improvements are ongoing. The money had already been appropriated and had not yet been spent. So there was no need to appropriate additional money to these projects. There was nothing cut from those projects at all. It's just that the money hadn't been spent yet. It was sitting in a pot waiting to be spent on those particular projects. That ongoing sewer and water renovation project downtown is about a 10-year project. So it goes along at a pace and you appropriate money over time. I think the second part of your question was, what are your priorities?
What are your priorities for capital improvements in the city?
Well, that's number one. Number one is the water and sewer projects all over the city, because not only is water a primary part of safety for all citizens, but it also has to do with flooding, which is a problem not just for downtown, not just for Craddock, it's everywhere. We all learned that just a few weeks ago. I stood under an awning with a knee getting soaked a few Tuesday nights ago, and we lost 16 cars parked at High in Washington that had come down to march in a love walk
due to flooding. So that's a very serious concern for me. And most of the capital improvement projects are things like water. You know, the Church on Bridge, obviously that's fully funded, and we'll start seeing that happening this year. The seawall repair, those are all, you know, high-level things. And now we also have school buildings in our CIP. And I think that's a good thing because we've got a better handle now on those large projects like roofs and new buildings as time comes when we need them.
The question is, what initiatives would you propose to help Portsmouth prepare for the inevitable challenges posed by city level rise in Hampton Roads?
Elizabeth spoke to some of them. We have to make a priority for dealing with the water and sewage improvements that need to deal with the flooding that's downtown. But we also need to work regionally. Some problems that cities face are too big for one city alone. And it's troubling to me when we have to work regionally because of all that's gone on in Portsmouth for the last couple of years. I think that our reputation regionally has slipped. But we need to work with other cities, and we need to listen to science. We need to believe science, and we need to take steps sooner rather than later. Regionally. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what the answers are, but I think that our city government needs to make this a priority.
Ready? The current city council passed a budget that cut the sheriff's office by $800,000 and froze $1.6 million worth of vacant city positions, more than half of which were in public safety. Both the police and fire departments report that these cuts have resulted in longer response times and fewer responders to protect lives and property in our city. Would you work to restore full funding to first responders? If so, what budgetary adjustments would you make to achieve that goal?
The simple answer is absolutely. I would refund all of those positions, the vacant positions, as well as the frozen positions. This is a scary situation. Everyone, citizen in here deserves a timely response by the best trained safety professionals possible, whether it's a fire situation, a medic call, a police officer. What you need that response as quick as possible to deal with these situations. These shortages have made it dangerous for us in these situations, as we noticed with the fire that we had last December here in Churchland, with the ladder company out of service. They have restored that ladder in service, which is great for the Churchland area, but to do so, we have permanently put out another piece of equipment out of service permanently. So that was one piece of equipment that is not available to respond anymore at all. These were the people that used to staff. We used to have a fire station at Portsmouth and Elm Avenue. That station was closed years ago to give the property to build Brighton Elementary, with the promise of building a new fire station in Truxton, which never happened. That's something that needs to be readdressed for the safety of the citizens on that side of the train tracks. But first of all, we need to fill these positions to make it safer for our citizens. And looking at the budget, you know, I'd have to sit down and look at the entire budget to see where to cut. But there's one thing I don't know if people are aware of in here, but nobody rides an ambulance for free. There's medical billing involved in a ride to the hospital. If you have insurance, your insurance pays for this. If you have Medicare or Medicaid, this pays for this. There's a lot of money that comes in through the fire department, through medical billing every year, that nobody really knows exactly where it goes. I think this money could be utilized back not just for the fire, but for police, and we can get back to 100% staffing to increase the safety for our citizens. Thank you.
Question is, for 2 decades or more, regional boards and authorities have assumed growing importance in our daily lives. Do you see that as a positive development? If so, what role should Portsmouth play in advancing regionalism in Hampton Roads? If not, how would you position the city to go it alone?
I would like to share with you that I definitely want your votes. However, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be something that I'm not. And I'm going to use some intelligence with my answers. It is impossible for me to make the correct decision about the welfare of our city until I get more involved. I can say some words, perhaps, that would impress you, but then later, if I should be voted as councilman, you're going to say, what did you say? Now, I want you to know, once I become familiar with the rules and regulations of the city of Portsmouth and the financial interests that we have in the city, I will be in a better position to make decisions than I to sit here and say something to you today, and I have no knowledge about the finances or what decision is best for the city until I get involved. So the reason I'm taking this is because I want you to know it's going to be impossible for me to have all of the answers that perhaps will be presented to me without having more knowledge about the income or the welfare of our city as far as the government is concerned. I hope I answer the question in this manner. I will do whatever is necessary after I become more familiar with the plan that the city has, the government here in Portsmouth. So I hope that you will understand I don't have an answer for that question at this time. That's as honest as I could be. And nevertheless, I hope, because I'm not able to answer that particular question at this time, you will look upon me and say, I don't think he can do it. I can do the job. I have to find out what is required. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. I'd like to remind everybody what the City Council actually does. Some of the answers, some of the questions, and some of the answers tonight make me think we're hiring a city manager. The City Council actually will serve as a board of directors up here at this level. The city manager isn't directing anybody how to get a grant, or who to hire, or who to fire. The City Council is making very high-level priority decisions. Yes, we think public safety is important. Yes, we think education is important. That's what a city council does, and it takes somebody who's willing to sit at the table and build consensus among at least 3 other like-minded folks, or convince them to be like-minded, and continue on a thought process. It's not the detail that some of the questions are even being asked about. And in fact, I think how some council members get into trouble is getting too far into the weeds with specific city employees and demanding they do things. That's actually against the law. The only people that members of city council can instruct to do anything are the 5 people that work for the city council. The city attorney, the city manager, the city clerk, well, it was the city auditor. 4 people who work for the council. Everybody else works for the city manager. And I may, as a member of council, I may ask any city employee anything, just like everybody in this room can. But I may not task. The things I used to do before I was on council, like call up the economic development director and say, hey, did you know Ben Wiggins over there is thinking about selling his dental practice and you need to go talk to him. I literally, by law, can't do that now. Remember what the job is.
Just expounding a little further on that, it is very critical that council members communicate with one another. They work with one another, but they are approachable by you and even by city staff. It is very critical that we find the funding for our basic needs, and then we can find money for our wants and desires. It is critical that we fully fund public safety, because that is paramount in attracting folks to own and live in Portsmouth, it is paramount that council members can talk to one another and work through the budget. The lion's share of our budget is the school board, schools specifically, and that is something that I believe we need to make sure that that money is being spent appropriately, and why every year there's millions of dollars left over. And I can tell you, my years on the school board, it was that way, and there was very little we could do about it because it was like the runaway train and not enough support to try to stop that. But it's very critical that we become very good managers and stewards of your tax dollars. And that's how we can sit down and, based on our priorities, which the council has to make the priorities and the city manager has to execute those, we can work through these problems. We can work through the things that will make Portsmouth greater and better. And number one, make it safe for others to live here. And that is the main problem that happens a lot of times. And if it means asking, for more tax dollars, Lord knows we don't. But if you really want it that bad, that's what it would take.
My platform, my reason for running for city council is because I want to improve the economic development, the educational system, and also our public safety. If we don't have those three elements intact, then we cannot attract any more businesses, we cannot attract any new citizens, and we cannot attract anyone to just come, shop, play, and entertain in our city. I think we need to take a look at all our resources, with our ports being our most important, and expand on that to attract new businesses, to attract new citizens to our city. With the visitors center question, I think that economic development plays a major part in that. We need to create a destination for Portsmouth. We need to give people a reason to come to Portsmouth. We're already strapped with tolls and other things. No one is coming to our city for the things that they already have in their own city. So I think that if our marketing and our tourism, we work together and we create a destination for Portsmouth. I look at other cities and their attractive things. That we need something, a spirit of Portsmouth or a pride of Portsmouth, something that could bring people to our city. So I think our visitor center would be a center point on expanding on our economic development to attract more businesses and citizens to the city of Portsmouth. Thank you.
I'll just expand on a couple of issues. One, we were speaking about all the new residents coming into these new homes and apartments in the city, but we also need to provide other services for them. The majority of these apartments are in downtown Portsmouth, but they really don't even have a grocery store within walking distance. A lot of the people that choose to live in these types of apartments, they want to walk. They want to walk to grocery stores. They want to walk to drugstores. They want to handle their needs by foot in a lot of cases. We need to do revitalization, and that goes along with our economic development. But we don't need to just look in one area. We need to revitalize the city. The downtown district, we need to look at Churchland, Midtown, George Washington Corridor. We need to look at everywhere and try to work on the city as a whole. It's just like we got the new Kroger, which is nice, that's sitting on the old Norcom High School site where I went to school at. But we also lost a Kroger here in Churchland to make that happen. So how much did we gain when we lost at the same time? So that's things that we need to look at. A question came up. One of the questions was about the 2 golf courses and possibly adding a third. From all the reports I've seen, the 2 that are in play now are losing money. If they're losing money, then that's something we should not hold on to. The money that they're losing, that we're spending, could be the money to put back into public safety, to rehire the deputies, the police officers, and the firefighters we need to make this city safer. Safety is priority 1. That will encourage residents to move here, and also the economic development. If we're not safe, people do not want to come into this city. Thank you.
All my colleagues up here talk about all the different issues, and they're good issues. But there's one thing that I see that's missing, and that's vision. One of the primary responsibilities of City Council, being at the 30,000-foot level, is to plan for the future and to make that plan known so that the city manager and all the city employees have a roadmap to go by. That is not happening. We have a city council that cannot even talk to each other, much less spend a day or a weekend together trying to plan for the future. And until we can bring some civility and some transparency and some planning, we will not have a vision. And until we have a vision, all of these things we're talking about are not going to happen. So that is what I would like for City Council to be focusing on. Let's create a vision for Portsmouth, and let's communicate that to the city and all of the departments and all of the citizens so we know where we're going and how we're going to get there. Thank you.
I'm a dreamer. I like to think that we can do all things. The greatest thing that can derive from a city, or the greatest governing principle, is to improve the quality of life for the citizens. Now, we're not satisfied. So the first thing we have to do is to improve the quality of life for you all, to make sure that you all are happy. You have to let me know exactly what we need to do, what's missing, because we work for you. Recently, we talked about the old Frederick Military Academy. And I did a little investigation. Some folks say let's put a fire department in part of the land. Some folks say, let's sell some of it. I want it to be one of the most iconic recreation facilities in all America. Why? Number one, it was Frederick Military Academy. It trained young men to be officers for years. It's a historical site. We're going to get money from the military, we're going to get grants for the historical site, and we're going to get grants and funding because we're dealing with youth and seniors. So we gotta dream. I dreamt enough. Thank you.
Would you repeat the question about the regional government?
The question about the regional government? The question was, for 2 decades or more, regional boards and authorities have assumed growing importance in our daily lives. Do you see that as a positive development? If so, what role should Portsmouth play in advancing regionalism in Hampton Roads? If not, how would you position the city to go it alone?
Regionalism is already in place. They have meetings the third Thursday of the month. The mayor and the city manager sits on that board. The Hampton Roads Planning District Commission is the regional government for everything like economics.
You might close the police so people can hear you. It won't bite you.
And so, and the other part of that is the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization. So the regional government is in place and is functioning and is telling the local government how they need to do the business. So it's already in place.
Our last.
I want to share this with you. There are more good people in Portsmouth than you think who have the same concern about the city for our future. Again, let me share with you. I'm not running for city council so I can just say I'm a city council person. I'm running for city council because I love this city. And I'm the first to admit things I don't know, I will admit it, and I catch on very quickly. I'm running for city council because I know I can make a difference. And listen to me very carefully now. I am not the Uncle Tom, and I'm not a racist. I am that I am. I want you to know that. So when it comes to problems, I don't take no white against black and all of that. Some people might be afraid to say that, but no. I'm a very proud black man. 205-pound USA prime. Hello, somebody. But I want you to know, I want you to vote for me. And there are people in this city, I'm not a stranger. Ask the sheriff, ask the treasurer, Johnny Morris, you name them. They know Boone because Boone helped them to get there. They said in my home. I'm not going to call some friends I have over there, and everybody's not my friend. But I want you to know, if you vote for me, you have a man that's going to be honest for you. I'm going to do my best to serve this city well. And what is more important to me than the citizens of Portsmouth, that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, I wish they would stand up and let granddaddy know they're with me if they're here tonight. Oh, have mercy, somebody. Where are you, baby? I want my grandchildren to say when granddaddy is gone, they all call me granddaddy. When granddaddy is gone, he was a man. Thank you. Vote for Leon J. Boone if you want to straighten the city up.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank the people for Portsmouth for this opportunity to share with you and to just let you know something about us and why you should vote for me. But we have an awesome task before us, those of us that will be elected to the city council. We have to fully fund our public safety. We have to reinvigorate economic development to bring not a bunch of apartments, but to bring home owners to the city. We have to change and we have to rebuild our image, and that's going to require a cohesive group of council members talking to one another, working with the city manager, working together. It's also going to require some integrity from each and every one of us. Everybody is not suited for public service. Everybody is not approachable. We need to make sure that we know the person that we're voting for. And I can tell you from my experience as a public servant and as a person that's been all over this region, that I can be that person to help to turn Portsmouth around, to repair our image, to make Portsmouth, it's already great, but to make it greater. We have to take a look at all of the things that we're doing to make sure that we are properly spending our money, that we are utilizing our resources, that our priorities are right, that we do have vision, and that we make sure that everyone is heard and everyone, I can't say be satisfied, that's impossible, but at least that everyone is heard and that we have the opportunity, I have the opportunity to do that. Thank you.
I just want all of y'all to know that I will work hard for all of you to get our city back on track in all areas of our public affairs. We have experienced a decline in the human order of self-government. With the decline in self-government, we have witnessed a decline in responsibility and the rise of turmoil and hardship for the taxpayers. I have exchanged my private life for one of public service to bring back self-government to the people. Because of the turmoil and hardship we have endured, all my time is spent on understanding the cares and concerns of my people. The goal of City Council is to protect the individual's liberty and God-given rights. As your elected, I will work with you, the people, and other elected to achieve the best outcome for all the people, not just a few. To accomplish this, communication with you, the citizens, will be a high priority because you need to be involved in the decision-making process. You need to understand why the final decisions are made and what to expect from the changes. I just want all of you to know that I will work hard for all of you to get our city back on track in all areas of our public affairs. This is why I'm asking you to vote for me on Tuesday, November the 8th, 2016. Thanks for listening.
Portsmouth for inviting me to this important forum, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out in this heat to see the candidates and to learn about them. Portsmouth needs all of you. If I'm elected as your city council member, my promise to you is to work as hard as I can to ensure that Portsmouth is governed with good judgment, transparency, and accountability. This election is important. The future of the city that we all love is at stake. Are you satisfied with decisions negotiated behind closed doors? I'm not. Do you want to continue to limit public participation? I don't. I want to hear from the people who I would represent. Those seats on council do not belong to the council members who occupy them. They belong to you. Do you want to do what only benefits the personal agendas of some council members? I don't. How about we do what's best for the city? I'm running on a platform of civility, honesty, transparency, accountability, and sound judgment. I want to focus on issues that will move Portsmouth forward: public safety, education, economic development, and regional collaboration. But those decisions are yours. So I ask for your support of my campaign. I ask you to get involved. I ask you to help people register to vote. And I ask for your vote on November the 8th. Remember my name, Kathy Revel, because it's time for a revolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been honored to serve the citizens of Portsmouth for 10 of the last 12 years. I've supported the elimination of wasteful spending for a city auditor. I've stood up for open government by being accessible to the public and to the media. I've supported funding a public safety pay plan and categorical quarterly funding to our school system. I've supported increased funding to our city retirement plans, which has improved the city credit ratings. I've supported public art initiatives and increased funding for public safety equipment. I have a vision of a city council that works together with civility and purpose, as Councilman Ray Smith and I once did. I have a vision of a city council that works towards a common goal: improve student achievement with more investment in the classroom and less in the boardroom. Improved economic development with private funding to provide new jobs, new homes, shopping choices, improved recreational opportunities for young and old in all neighborhoods, and please, can we get a dog park? I support reducing the real estate tax rate. To the people of Portsmouth, I ask for your vote. To the people for Portsmouth, I ask for your endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you all for inviting me out tonight, and thank you for hearing from us. I'm running for Portsmouth City Council because I'm an effective leader who will be a voice for citizens and an advocate for council colleagues who help to positively promote Portsmouth economic development, public safety, police and community relations, and our educational system for an improved image across the region. I will be an effective member of the Portsmouth City Council because I will apply the skills and the knowledge that I've already attained through my educational background. And I forgot to mention, I graduated from Norfolk State University in 1987 with a degree in electronics engineering and will complete a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology this December. I will use my strong communication skills and my leadership opportunities to attract new businesses and developers to our beautiful port city. It is my desire to take a look at the regional approach to combine initiatives and resources that will enhance our city. I will work with community leaders to help promote a positive image of Portsmouth to attract businesses and citizens to our quaint town. I'll also work with legislators in Richmond to help us to get the things that we deserve in Portsmouth. I will become an advocate for our police and community relations, our public safety, by working with our police chief to help identify the issues that affect us across our region and across our city that tarnish our image. I would like to create a citywide community partnership with civic leagues by hosting quarterly community forums at our local TCC to help problematic issues that have occurred across all of our communities. I want to promote our educational system by finding resources to retain and attract educators to our city so that we can have other people to come to our city, be proud of our schools, be proud of our communities, and be proud of our businesses. Thank you.
We're all here tonight with something in common. We know that we deserve better. As citizens of Portsmouth, we deserve quality education for our children, which would include more vocational opportunities. As citizens of Portsmouth, we deserve transparency and responsiveness from our leadership within the city. As citizens of Portsmouth, we deserve fiscal responsibility and stability. As citizens of Portsmouth, we deserve to feel safe and protected at all times, regardless of age, gender, or color of skin, which is why I'm so hard on fully funding public safety, because safety is a priority for all of us. We need to initiate to take these threats and lessen them before the threats lessen our city. So the last thing I'll leave y'all with tonight is protect your family, protect your property, and protect your future. Vote for me, Nathan Clark, to be your voice on City Council. Thank you.
I'm Leon J. Boone. I'm still wrestling with how did I get that last question. However, let me share this with you because I want your vote. I want your vote. And listen, it couldn't get any worse. Come on now. Come on, let's get down. So when you go home, you say, we have nothing to lose. We can put Leon in there. And there are some people, the sheriff department, they're watching me. Waters, if he was here. Earl Marlin, I'm just going down there, throwing out some names. Some of my friends who are in here now, I'm not going to call you, but I'm counting on you to talk to the people in your community. Now, what I would bring as a city councilman, I would listen to the citizen. That's exactly what we need. People are making decisions and not asking whether you like or not, but they want you to pay for their decisions. I will not make a decision until I heard from the majority of the citizens of Portsmouth. I am the guy you can depend on because I'm straight up forward. What you see is what you get. Amen? Vote for Leon J. Boone. I have a lot of pride. I'm a very proud man. And I have supported the Portsmouth system through the years. I'll help educate black kids, white kids. It's a known fact. I've written 2 books. Yes, I have. Being Black in America through the eyes of Leon J. Boone. Be who you want to be. Go on the internet, look him up. Either look for Mount Hermon, I'll pop up, and you will see my life and the people who I have supported. I'm asking you to vote for me because I can do the job. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Thank you.
Statement this evening comes from Paul Papp.
Well, you know you got a big job ahead of yourself. You got to pick yourself some council folk. Let me share some of my experiences. I'm the dream. I was at a banquet, and a 92-year-old white gentleman called me over. He said, "You running for city council?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, you need a job, don't you?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Well, where do you work?" I said, "Well, I'm retired from Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing, and I have 3 licenses by the state and provide services to people with intellectual disabilities. I have 40 to 48 employees." Oh, boy, you gotta go, no. But anyway, I didn't feel bad about him calling me boy, because I am a boy to him. He's old enough to be my father. I have black men that call me boy. Doesn't bother me. I am a boy to them. They've been here much longer. So a lot of things don't bother me because I know who I am. I didn't come here to deceive. I got much better things to do. I came here to make a difference, to improve the quality of life, to bring my dreams with you that we can be as powerful and as wealthy as Manhattan. I bring the intellectual ability to make those things true. I communicate well with everyone, and it's about respect. The key word, the only word, is respect. If we respect one another, it doesn't matter what color you are. Please consider me as your city council person. Thank you.
Thank you all the city council candidates. You did a fabulous job. Thank you, Barbara Hamley. You were great. Next time, August 25th, we'll have a forum with school board candidates. Many people have said to me, they're not important. Let's not even worry about endorsing school board candidates. That's wrong. What is the biggest marketing tool any city has? It's its school system. And so we will have a school board forum August 25th, and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, don't leave without getting some bagel nuts to bad government, and a sign for people for Portsmouth. In the meantime, come down and meet all the candidates for city council, and thank you for being here tonight.